Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about I got deactivated on Uber. What do I do? One of my subscribers ended up reaching out to me about his situation. Scott, thank you so much for emailing me about this and making this video possible. And unfortunately, the guy ended up getting deactivated and in a very questionable way. So with that said, I want to go over everything that's being said in this email. What I would do before, during, and even after I were to be deactivated on Uber in his shoes and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over in this video is very market dependent. What applies to me in my market may not apply to you. Also, on Uber specifically, I've never personally been deactivated. I hope that never happens. But either way, let's look at his email and see what we could talk about. I just recently found you and I really enjoy your videos. I wanted to pick your brain and see if I have any options in this situation. I've been driving Uber for years, giving rides, but mainly deliveries. Out of the blue, they decided to deactivate me because 2.5 years ago, I got a ticket for going 5 miles over the speed limit. I have 0 points on my MVR and no criminal history at all. This is just insane to me that they're doing this. During the same time, Lyft did their background check and everything came back fine. My question is, do I have any options here? Could I just make another account? Any help you could give would be appreciated. Thank you, Scott. Well, first of all, welcome to the channel, Scott. I am happy to have you as always. Second, ticket 2.5 years ago going 5 miles over the speed limit. It sounds like you got a cop that was just on a zero tolerance policy with speeding at all. But overall, I would still say you absolutely should have fought that ticket so that way it wouldn't appear on your record at all, even if it was 2.5 years ago. You also sent me a screenshot, so let's take a look at that as well. We are writing to inform you that we are declining to engage or continue to engage you as an independent contractor. Safety Holdings Incorporated, a consumer reporting agency, provided the company with a consumer report in connection with your current or requested independent contractor relationship. The company's decision was based in whole or in part on information contained in that consumer report and an individualized assessment of any additional information that you provided us. What information did you give them? Were they even asking for information? Safety Holdings Incorporated did not make the decision to take this action. We cannot provide you with information about the company's decision. That is such an Uber thing to do as well. Like, it's all these gig companies, they will literally refuse to tell you why these things take place. They just say, nope, you're done. That's it. Because if they were to actually give you legitimate information, you could sue them and they will probably lose that case. But only if you opted out of arbitration. We'll get into that later. Any inquiries regarding that decision should be directed to the undersigned. You, nevertheless, have a right to contact Safety Holdings Incorporated at any time to dispute any information in the consumer report that you believe to be inaccurate or incomplete. You should already have received a copy of the consumer report, and it just kind of cuts off from there. Again, I would have fought that ticket. I don't think it ever makes sense to not at least consult a traffic attorney on the subject. See if we could knock that down or knock it out entirely. And it doesn't even seem like that was the actual reason, but the reason in which they were willing to tell you. If they told you any reason at all, it doesn't seem like that's the reason. All of these gig companies are kind of known for just deactivating people, but never actually giving a straight answer on why. Now, that being said, if you received a complaint from a rider and then they kind of just said, you know what, there's this old complaint from a while ago, we can tell he's a smart delivery person, smart gig worker in general, you're making too much money, so we're gonna pull the plug on you and get a new guy in here that doesn't have the experience you have. So they'll refer to an older report.
They find out all of a sudden.
They didn't. This background check is 5 years old.
What? It doesn't make sense.
Now, I know this isn't going to help now, but let's quickly talk about what you should do before you get deactivated on any circumstances. Opt out of arbitration. Within the first 30 days of signing up, you have the opportunity to opt out of the arbitration agreement that is included within your independent contractor contract. You absolutely want to opt out of it because a lawsuit will put you in front of a jury and will have a lot more opportunity to make more money. However, arbitration is going to save Uber more money in the event that they lose, which they probably won't because it's ran by an arbiter, which Uber would pay for, and he would make the sole decision on whether or not you should be reactivated. Tell me this is a fixed fight without telling me this is a fixed fight. Get a dash cam and body cam. Make sure you can prove your innocence of whatever happened that you are being accused of by having the evidence of physical footage at your disposal. In the event that it's like, oh, it's he said, she said, or whatever, you're probably going to end up losing. That's not going to work with film. That's not going to work with the paper trail. You always want to have a paper trail of everything. And that way you're protecting yourself in the event that things like this pop up. Diversify your gig portfolio. I know that Uber is a big one, and I know that you also drive for Lyft, but you got to make sure that you have a few different options of opportunities as possible. DoorDash, Grubhub, Veho, Instacart, Shipped, Delivered, Delivered That, Powerworks, Bolt, TaskRabbit, the list goes on. Just make sure you're never too dependent on any one gig app for any reason, because it sounds like this particular one was a pretty devastating one if you're contacting me about it. The gig economy has been, and always will be an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal. It's never the goal. It's not because of the industry. It's not because it's food delivery or being too dependent on tips, blah, blah, blah. It's because of the fragility of these accounts as a whole. One douchebag says something about you that may or may not even be true, and suddenly, bam, you're deactivated. Or something unthinkable happens to you. Bam, no income for you. Oh, there's this old report from years ago that should have been off your record already. Bam, get rid of them. In my eyes, an exit strategy is an income that is overall independent of your activity. Renting out real estate, investing in the stock market or ETFs or index funds, having an online business such as e-commerce, content creation of some sort, affiliate marketing, etc. Just make sure that you set up these strategies so that way you are not 100% needed 100% of the time. Save as much as possible. Deactivations are a freak thing. And while I would say a lot of my points are great advice, including this one, at any period of time, it's especially important in these times of need where you even have to actually lean on those funds anyway. Most people say 3 to 6 month emergency fund. I would actually argue for the higher end of a 6-month emergency fund because we operate on a variable income. Just make sure you are going to be financially safe by taking these steps now. Drive safely. You know, it's a good way to not get a ticket or not to be accused of being an unsafe driver. Driving safely. Okay, that was condescending, but the point still stands. If you're driving all the time, you should be driving as safe as possible, especially for rideshare. I know that you said that you mainly do deliveries, but you have access to rideshare. You gotta make sure that you are being extra careful with your accounts. If a delivery driver guns a yellow, it's whatever, they're delivering a product, and some people kind of understand that even if it's not okay. But you're carrying a person when you're doing rideshare. That person not only got an Uber to make sure he was safe or she was safe, but has a voice that can literally say, hey, I don't like the way this person operated. So drive safe, and if it feels like you're pushing boundaries where you shouldn't, you probably are. If you get a ticket, fight it. I know I went over this already, but there are multiple reasons why people get tickets, and it's not just for you speeding. Maybe the cop is having a bad day. Maybe the cop saw the color your skin. I hate to say it like that, but that's a thing. Maybe the cop saw that your car was a sports car and wanted to give you a ticket because it looks like you were going fast. Speeding is part of it, of course, but there can be overall multiple reasons that aren't talked about enough. Personally, I always believe that you should be fighting speeding tickets, or at least consult with a traffic lawyer about the speeding tickets in question. Let me put it this way. If you don't fight it, that ticket will stay on your MVR for years. Your insurance rates will go up in response to it. And as you can tell, it can negatively impact your gig accounts. Personally, I went with the ticket clinic the one time I got a speeding ticket, and they actually took really good care of me. And I made a video talking all about them. I will leave that in the description. Feel free to check it out. They didn't sponsor that video or anything like that. I just like the service that I received. Don't be that guy. I'm gonna make this quick. Don't look for ways to game the system. Don't go driving like an idiot. Don't cause problems for customers. Don't F around and find out. And also, one other note before we move on is the best way to make sure you're not committing any deactivatable offenses by understanding how the deactivation system works. Again, I made a video talking all about the deactivation system as a whole. I will leave that in the description. Feel free to check that out. Now that we're done talking about what you should do beforehand, what happens if you do actually end up deactivated? First, you should figure out why. Sometimes they tell you exactly why. In your case, they withheld that information. If I were you, I would contact Legal Rideshare, pay them whatever it is, I think it's 25 bucks, and they will send a letter on your behalf to figure out why you were deactivated. I would also say you should contact Safety Holdings Incorporated for whatever that is and see if you can get a copy of the report. I know they said they sent you a thing, but if that's the reason why they're telling you, then you should absolutely fight it. And if you can contact a lawyer on the subject, you absolutely should. There's a lot of lawyers that are absolute bullcrap that say they provide services, but they don't. But honestly, it's worth a shot. Appeal the deactivation. This avenue doesn't always work, but usually in the deactivation email, there are instructions on how to actually appeal the deactivation. According to the Uber in Brazil page, you could reply to the email they sent you, but that may be different to where you are. Either way, I would check that email and just make sure if there are any instructions in there, you are following them. Can you make another account? Uber doesn't allow this normally, but it's not like people don't find ways to make that happen. This might be outdated information, but you would need a new phone number, a new email address, and potentially even a new zip code, as well as other vital information. Unfortunately, however, gig companies as a whole have made various moves to combat this type of behavior because there's a lot of shifty characters that should be deactivated, but they still find a way to get back on. Just make sure if you do get another one, you are following the initial steps we talked about. Consider not going back at all. Here's the reality. If they want to get rid of you, they're just gonna get rid of you. You just experienced it. If they were willing to treat you that way for simply a speeding ticket of you going 5 miles over a speed limit 2.5 years ago, which by the way, 3 years is when it would end up getting off your MVR in a lot of places anyway, that's really messed up. And then you wonder why the douche who keeps stealing food from customers is still on the platform. Meanwhile, you were a good driver that did the right thing by people. You can't expect the wrong people to do the right thing. I know it sucks, and there's nothing as infuriating as the core burning sting of getting a wrongful deactivation for the worst and the most stupidest of reasons. But maybe this really bad thing can lead to a brighter future and a better opportunity for you as a whole. You never know. If you guys also want to email me about something you would like me to go over, my email is drivenwyld@gmail.com. Who knows, maybe you'll be featured in a video as well. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else about getting deactivated on Uber and potentially fighting it that I have yet to cover in this video? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that anybody and everybody that has unfortunately been wrongfully deactivated or needs to prepare for a potential deactivation knows what to do, so that way they can make the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.